Alright, we got some few things I gotta do today. First, we're gonna go out here and explain the Jeep project that I had, the Jeep WJ. Nice cold brew for a cold day, 15 degrees. Then we gotta go look at my dad's truck, put an IDM box on it, got it running, but now it's starting to misfire. We're gonna take a look at it and see what it is. Then we got to work on another Jeep WJ. Man, I got tongue twisted. Another Jeep WJ. So first, let's go ahead and go out here and take a look at this piece of junk I got in my driveway and show what I'm about to do with it. And talk about why I'll never own another 4.7. What's it doing, Bob? What's it doing? Got side? Got side? Yeah. The old Dodge. So we're taking a look at this old Jeep. I got the alternator, AC condenser, but I got it filled with junk. As you can see, I got it tore down. I had it halfway tore down and it wasn't worth rebuilding. The heads are twisted on it. Got the new computer in it still, but just gonna go ahead and junk it. It's not really worth messing with. I mean, it's in really good shape. It's got a little bit of rust here from setting now, right here. So I'll talk to you a little bit why I'm junking it and why I'll never own another 4.7. Still like them. They're okay for everyday use. I tried to find one with low miles, couldn't find one. That year's known to do what it did. Always had 200,000 miles on it, and it was abused. That Jeep was abused hardcore. I gave $800 for it. Or 700, I can't remember. I made that back easily, and it blowed up. Started tearing it down, gonna rebuild it. Wasn't worth rebuilding. Tried to find a motor with low miles, couldn't find a motor. It's just something you can't find. The way it's designed, I don't like it. It has the chains on the head. I'm not a big fan of that, and I did not want to tear into it. How much I have in that Jeep and what it's worth to me, it's just going to the scrapyard now. My next goal is to find a Jeep, Grand Cherokee, WJ, XJ, Wrangler, whatever I can get a hold of, and do an Amazon build, because I think that would be pretty cool. I seen a guy do that with an old body Chevy. He bought all his stuff off Amazon, and it turned out really awesome. So I'm trying to do that right now. I'm in the middle of looking right now, and it's hard. It's hard to find a Jeep that's worth what they're asking, because you know they got rust buckets and they're asking $2,500 for them. So we are continue looking for that. So I have a project for this channel. Thought I'd update you on that. That one's going to the scrapyard. I'll probably get like $100 out of it. Sell the rims for 40. So I have $140 out of it. I still made out with it. I've made my money back on it. It's a shame because it's in great shape underneath. I think it's beautiful underneath. The interior is mint. There's some rough areas on the seat, but you know, it was a really nice Jeep. So thought I'd update you on that. So let's go ahead and take a look at my dad's truck and then work on this other Jeep WJ. So this is kind of like a vlog type video. I'm just showing you guys what I've been up to and how I've been. So it's kind of just like a vlog type. First of all, I've helped my dad put the IDM box on his 7.3. We got it running again. We put new seals on the fuel lines, and now we're having a missing problem. And I'm pretty sure it's an injector. It sounds like one of the injectors isn't firing very well. But after we go take a look at that, get that solved, we're gonna go work on a 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Taking a look at a 2004 Jeep WJ, Jeep Grand Cherokee. This Jeep hasn't been ran in a year. The battery is toast. We tried to start it and nothing happened. So basically what was wrong with it, and this should help you guys out. The Jeep would just overheat for no reason. Like every once in a while it would jump up and it would overheat. Like the gauge would jump up to like super hot, and then the thing would miss and then not want to start because it was hot. So we replaced, well, I didn't, somebody replaced the thermostat, the temperature sensor, bled the antifreeze, flushed the radiator, did all the things, and it still overheated, because that's the easiest things to do first. It didn't overheat all the time though, just when you were sitting in traffic and, you know, on a hot day. And the fan was fine, the clutch fan was doing okay, everything was fine to do with cooling and all that stuff. But there's one thing that they did not want to do, and that is put a head gasket on this Jeep. Now I get a lot of emails, a lot of comments, and I even talk to a lot of people, and they'll say, you know, it can't be my head gasket because it's not mixing with the oil. You know, a lot of Jeeps that I've seen blown a head gasket don't really mix. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't, but my Jeep, like several Jeeps I have, the head gasket blowed and it did not mix with the oil. I've seen the head gaskets blow, and when you take the radiator cap, it blows the antifreeze out of the radiator. Okay, that's one sign. This one wasn't doing that, but I knew it was the head gasket. So, you know, I tell them it needs a head gasket. They kind of just, nah, it can't be that. It's got to be something else. So they just screw around with it, and they're still trying to bleed the air out of it, which there was no air in the coolant system and all this stuff. Well, finally, they're wanting to put a head gasket on it, and I'm guaranteed that's what was wrong with it. And finally, we got the head pulled off of it, which you'll see here in a minute. And it was definitely the head gasket. So here is the beauty. 2004 Grand Cherokee. Pretty decent shape. As you can see, I got the head already pulled off of it. There's the cylinders. Got it cleaned up, ready to put the new gasket on. What I like about the WJ, though, this year, look at that. This is real metal, a real manifold. That's awesome to see. It's not that cheap junk that comes on an XJ, but it's in really good shape. It's worth fixing up. Here's the intake and all that lovely stuff. Here's your typical build up here. Clean that out before we put it back on. Here's the head. It looks really decent, honestly. I am going to go ahead and put an oil filter on this. As you can see, it's a side mount instead of that crappy adapter that's usually on them. But yeah, this is pretty cool. It's pretty self-explanatory. Here's the stuff that goes in between the injectors to keep from heat soak. As you can see, this thing got super hot and just disintegrated. So I don't really like them that much, but I'll have to put something back in there. New spark plugs in here because this plug, one of these plugs were messed up and they're wore out anyway. So we're going to go ahead and put new spark plugs in there. All the push rods look fine. Pulley looks fine. Air filter looks okay. So we went ahead and covered that. We got to wait a day to get the manifold gasket and the head gasket in. Went ahead and put a new oil filter on there. Want to do an oil change. Put a new battery in it. So this thing should run pretty good when we get it done. As you can see, I got the head sitting back on there. I'm going to get the bolts in it. Got to get it torqued down. I'm waiting on liquid thread sealer so I can seal number 11 head bolt. And then go ahead and crank her down and get her running again. Here it is, all back together. Head on, no leakage. New gaskets. Everything's ready to go, full on antifreeze, new battery, plugs, oil filter, oil, new antifreeze. Everything's good to go. So we cleaned up the interior a little bit. It's still needs a big washing, but enough to get in here and test drive it because it was pretty nasty. The floor needs scrubbed, seat needs scrubbed, the door panels need scrubbed. We went ahead and kind of made this look a little bit better. But yeah, runs and drives really good. So we got the Jeep done, running good. The temperature stays right where it needs to be, way better than it did before. Before it ran at 220 and sometimes would overheat. So it's turned out great. My advice to you people that have Jeeps, please maintenance them, or maintain them, keep them up to date on their oil changes and wiper blades and all those things, because this Jeep lacked a lot of maintenance, and a lot of this stuff can be prevented by just regular maintenance. Head gasket, not so much. It's not really maintenance. That's just sometimes you got to put a head gasket on a vehicle. But maintenance go a long way. I stress maintenance on everything, even though it's a 1995 Jeep, whatever it is, do the maintenance on your vehicle, because it'll make a big difference for the mechanic that's working on it, and it'll make a big difference for your motor and how healthy it stays. I did a lot of maintenance on this vehicle while I was doing the head gasket, just because it needed done. And you know, if you just wait to do maintenance, it all adds up, and you're going to be spending $500, $600, $700 to $1,000 just on maintenance stuff. So keep your vehicles maintenance. Hope you guys enjoyed this little update, this little video, and hope you enjoyed this little Jeep. It's a great little Jeep. It's got 140,000 on it. It should have a lot of life left in it. So I'm Cherokee Ronnie. Stay dirty, my friends.